Hey adventurers, so today's going to be another book review. This is going to be for Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. This is a Star Wars novel set in the Disney canon, as how I'm describing it, because that's an easier way to describe it than to say the canon versus the EU and like go into all of that. So basically, after Disney bought the books, or bought the IP, the Star Wars IP, they started having people write books and publishing them, and this is one of those books. Aftermath by Chuck Wendig it's a Star Wars novel, so that kind of gives you a taste of what it's going to be. Science fiction, war, adventure, yeah, basically those, probably some other ones as well. Keywords or genres, subgenres, whatever you want to say. Star Wars Aftermath is the first book in the Aftermath trilogy by Chuck Wendig. It is a canon Star Wars novel set after the events of the fall of the Empire and the destruction of the second Death Star and the death of the Emperor. Spoilers for Star Wars. The book follows the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, and we get a look into how the galaxy is adjusting, what is being done, what changes are happening, how the New Republic is being set up and operating. But it's a personal journey. This book specifically is a personal journey, one of a mother looking to protect her son, while at the same time do her job for the New Republic and fight the Imperial remnant on her homeworld. And so there's kind of basically the way that they're telling this story is through the lens of a mother. This is an interesting book. I love Star Wars. That I don't think that's a surprise. I don't think I've hidden that at all on the channel. I think that's pretty clear. I love Star Wars. It is one of my favorite universes, second only to Middle-earth. And I have a great love for many of the different Star Wars stories. The setup of this book, with it being set during the aftermath of the Galactic Civil War, is something that works really well and is absolutely one of the strong points of the book. It's no surprise that we are following a rebel pilot. That's not surprising. The rebels just won, and so rebels would be the ones in control, and those are probably the characters we're going to be following. And the story itself is not terribly surprising either in the way that it's being told, any of the events that are happening, anything like that, what is actually going on. None of that's terribly surprising either. In a lot of ways, it feels like we are checking off boxes in order for it to be Star Wars. There's a rebel pilot, there's the Empire, there's legacy characters, and in this instance it's Wedge Antilles. There's a unique droid and a bounty hunter, etc. You just kind of check off these boxes and make it Star Wars, and that way that's something that I would say as a negative. That's not necessarily to say that they're bad or poorly done in this book. It's just checking off boxes in order to make something Star Wars isn't a great way to make Star Wars. And that's not something I feel like is particularly necessary either. I'd rather that we focused on telling a story. It doesn't have to be anything familiar to Star Wars. It can just be something, and you set it in the Star Wars universe. It doesn't have to have all these things that then tie it back into the rest of everything. This is a very middle of the road story for me. It's nothing terribly bad, nothing terribly great. Wendig, I do feel, I do feel does a decent job at telling a story. It's a solid story. There's a heart, there is heart and emotion here, though I do wish he would have gone a little bit deeper into the mother-son relationship, and maybe we'll get that in the rest of the trilogy. I'm not sure. I haven't continued on with the series yet. But this book does the same thing that I've been complaining about with Legends of the First Empire, where it is telling this epic, sweeping tale and tries to ground us by telling a very personal story about our characters. And again, I don't feel like it works in this novel. And the weird thing is, I've seen it where it does work in other novels. And so I'm not sure what it is about Wendig, and in the case of Legends of the First Empire, Sullivan, that makes that way of telling the stories not resonate with me. Because I know that I've seen it from other authors where it does work. Before I continue into the rest of this review, though, I'd just quickly like to say thank you for watching an Erudite adventure. I'm T. If you're liking what you're seeing from us, please like, comment, and subscribe. So Wendig, I believe, is known more for his thrillers than anything else, and I can definitely see that here. There's definitely a bit of a thriller style or pacing that is used in this book. He's fast-paced and extremely accessible, but I don't feel like that is anything to write home about. Like, I don't actually feel like that's a positive in this instance. It's just kind of basic in a lot of ways. It feels corporate and intentionally consumable without the craft and artistry of someone who truly cares. And I would say that that is kind of the general complaint of the vast majority of Star Wars since Disney purchased it. And I'm not going to go into a big rant or tirade against Disney or anything, or Lucasfilm, or what they've been doing. Suffice it to say, I haven't enjoyed every single thing as much as I would like to that they have produced since they bought the IP. There's definitely some good here in this book, some solid storytelling, but I'm just not a huge fan of the author's voice. I feel like it's kind of modern. His voice is very modern. It's very not, it doesn't fit with Star Wars nearly as well as I would hope or want it to. Overall, I do like seeing the aftermath of the Empire's fall. That is something that will always fascinate me. And I enjoyed this well enough to continue the series. I do plan on continuing the series, especially since I have the whole trilogy physically. And I listened to this audiobook for free. If you really like Star Wars like I do, then sure, maybe give it a try if you want to. But I definitely don't think that this is anything close to a must-read, even for Star Wars fans. It's not bad, and but there are definitely better canon books, and definitely, absolutely, a lot of better EU non-canon, I guess they're calling them Legends books. So yeah, definitely it's okay, not horrible. Pretty middle of the road for me in terms of books, and in terms of Star Wars books, nothing spectacular. But anyways, I enjoyed it well enough, and I do plan on continuing the series. So that is my review for Aftermath by Chuck Wendig, book 1 of the Aftermath trilogy. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and have our social media linked in the description down below. We will see you guys. I don't need to be holding this up anymore. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.